what was the song I wanted to do? Let's get rich, let's get rich, let's get rich. I love money and money loves me. I love money and money loves me. Okay, all right. So, Magic Money with Melissa. I'm so super excited to be here today. What I want to do as a person who quit her job with like not a ton of money in the bank. I definitely had some money, but we're talking less than, I don't know, 5,000. And then maybe I think I had what is the retirement funds payout? I had a little bit of money, but I quit my job and I decided to build a business, start a YouTube channel, and I made six figures in the first year. And then now in the second year, we have made that five, six times over. Um, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing journey. And one of the biggest things I learned along the way was that we have to change the way we talk about money. And I really want to make big money, and I want to make big money for me. I want to make big money for you. I want, everyone to make big money. And so, in addition to running my own business, the Insurance Exam Queen channel, where I help people pass the insurance exam with ease and confidence, with a 90% first time pass rate, by the way. While I'm still running that, I honestly feel like I would be doing a disservice if I didn't start talking about money. And so many people want to do what I was able to do, which was to leave my corporate job, build a six-figure business, and not even just the whole idea of a six-figure business. I left my corporate job and now I don't have to work too hard and I am making all kinds of money. My life is entirely, besides just like my bank account, my entire life is utterly different because I am no longer working for a job. I'm no longer going into an office. I'm no longer someone's monitoring me and checking in on what I'm doing. Like those things are no longer a part of my life. And every day I get to wake up when I want to wake up. I get to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I get to, spend my time however it is I want to spend my time. No one else owns my time. A boss doesn't own my time. A job doesn't own my time. I own my time. Well, my baby owns my time now. But I own my time. No one else dictates what I do on a schedule for the exchange of money. We are literally like, we do not understand we are what we are on this earth right now is time. Like that's all we really have is time right here. And you're not even guaranteed to have it because like you could die right now. You could die right now. You could die right now. Like there are thousands of people dying around the planet. Like I just watched an insurance claim where a piece of ice cube fell from an airplane and literally went through the roof and then the ceiling of this person's house and like cracked the flooring. And we were talking about how that's covered. And I'm like, you could have died from that. A piece of ice cube falling off a plane, shooting through your roof. It actually happens. This woman was right on the other side of the wall when it happened. She could have been hit by that ice cube. She could be dead, right? Like life, we do not realize how precious our life is and that every moment we are living our life, are you hating it? Are you loving it? What are you doing with it? Because soon and not soon, I don't mean soon. It'll feel soon. At any given moment, it could be gone, completely gone. Like you have nothing else to say about it. Like I was thinking about this the other day. Like when you die, it's cemented, which is why we get like a rip stone, right? I know it's RIP, but you know what I mean. When we die, there's nothing else we can do, change. Like whatever is written about history is written. There is no, she did do this, but then later on she did this instead, and now we remember her for this. Like there is nothing else that you could change when you die. It is cemented. Whatever your memories are, whatever version of yourself you were when you left the planet, that is cemented. And there are many versions of us. Like let's say when I was in my 20s, I was spending every weekend at the bar drinking my guts out, dancing on the bar, flashing my titties on the bar. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. But this was who I was in my 20s. Like, I am not that person anymore. That version of me is definitely gone. It's integrated into like who I am. It grew into me. It evolved into me. But if I had died at then, that would have been my life. If I die when I'm sitting in a cubicle, like that's your life. Like, what are you living each day as your life? And do you really respect the fact that you only have this moment, this moment, this moment, and that the very next moment can be taken from you in the blink of an ice cube falling from an airplane and crashing through your ceiling and plunking you on the head and you're dead? The electricity shooting out right now, like the song "Live Like You're Dying" means something. It means something. Live like you're dying. Like, live as if you're not promised any future moments, because you are not. And how are you spending those moments that you have them? Like, now as a mother, like, I'm really understanding my how important my moments are, that I get to spend time with this most beautiful, amazing daughter of mine. Like, oh my gosh, like this life force that was created between the love of David and I and biology and all this cool stuff, and my body grew this human that is now laughing, giggling. Like, it is really hard to explain what that feels like, and how like different I am from that too. That's a whole other version of me. I could have died before I became, a mother to in a birth mother, because I am adopted mother, and that itself is a whole other feeling, a whole other version of me when that happened. Like, we are only given our moments, and so to sit and play with my baby and have so much fun. Like, she could be in daycare, she could be not with me, she could be somewhere else, someone else's responsibility, while I'm trying to get money. That's literally what we're doing. You are at a job to get money. How hard are you working for your money? How often are you away from your family for your money? You are exchanging the opportunity to giggle and laugh and play with your baby in exchange to get money. And it's not enough. So then you come home frustrated. And then the baby's crying. So now you're irritated and you don't get to, love her and hug her in a supportive way. You're frustrated because you have dinner to make, you've got dishes to put away, you got all this stuff that you have to do, and whatever it is. And then the baby is there, which is so cute and adorable, but look at all the things I have to do because I spent most of my day attempting to make money and it wasn't enough, and it is exhausting, and I can't even be here with you now. Like, do you understand? Like, it's almost zombie-like status when you are working a job you don't like in exchange for money. And you've agreed to this system because you are actively in it. You haven't left it. You are in it. You believe it is your safety. You believe it is your security. You believe that if you don't do it, you're hurting your family, and you're not even looking at how you're hurting your family right now. How are you hurting your family right now that you are not there? Now, I understand that there is, I need to go make money. I know, I get it. That's what we're talking about. Do you really understand what you're doing? You are going after money, and you are willing to sell precious hours that you have, that you could be with your children, or whatever it is you could be doing. You may be childless. Precious moments with your grandmother who is on her deathbed, because we are never promised the next moment. And she's on her deathbed, and she's got all this wisdom that she could have shared with you, all of this stuff that she could have, just being with someone who's existed for time and understanding and hearing their stories and getting all of their wisdom. You are selling an hour of your life to hang out with your grandma so that you can go get money. Like, just to be real honest about what we're doing. Like, I don't think we really understand how much we are giving up when we rely on a job, someone else's control to make money. And you're not using, most of the time, I noticed anyway. I don't know that I've ever met a person who, and that's something I want to change, because I now offer jobs to people. I am a company that I'm now talking about, in a sense that people come to me to make money. But the thing is like, I don't really dictate their schedule very much. I say, when are you able, like, we talk about it, we're flexible. People can take the time off when they need to take the time off. We figure it out. Our team comes together, right? So look at the quality. too of your job. I'm not bashing every single job out there in all of existence. I offer jobs. I want you to work those jobs. But think about the quality of the job that you have, how you feel going to that job, how many hours you're going to that job, and in exchange for how much money, and is it really all worth it when you really realize what you're missing out on in exchange for that money? Now, I'm not trying to bash you for making money because I totally get it. That was my entire life until I decided to believe differently about money. The version of me that worked jobs is a version of me that no longer exists. And the version of who I am now is very different when it comes to money. Totally different relationship when it comes to money. Totally different levels of conversation. If you've never conversated, like, think about how hard it might be to talk about spending, like, oh yeah, I have $3,000 cash right now. We can go on a vacation. No, it's just like, oh my God, I don't have enough money. I need to save, like, or I could never do that, and it would be really, and how awkward would it be to be like, hey, do you have $3,000 right now? Like, if you just said that to one of your friends that you hang out with, like maybe you're even like pretty good friends, but you don't really talk about money, right? Like all my coworkers, we didn't talk about money. We didn't just say, oh, do you have 3,000? Can I borrow $3,000 right now? Like, how hard, and not even just borrow, just in speaking about money in general. How often do you actually speak about money? Not in a complaining way. In a money where you're like, do you have money? Give me money. And you would expect that person to have money. And then we would feel bad if we asked that question and they didn't have the money. And then, then we feel bad for asking. Like, there's so many things wrapped up inside our ability to conversate about money. So we don't conversate about money. And then what we're also familiar with is the amount of money. Like, like I've said this before, if $3,000 is scary to you, earning $3,000 will feel scary to you. But talking big money, I've had to talk big money. I've had to tell people that I want to make bigger sums of money, offering my time to them for bigger sums of money than I have ever understood that actually existed. I've never talked about just spending, $2,500 a month for like some services, like this. Oh, this could help. Okay, like I'm going to spend, money here. I'm going to spend money there. I'm going to spend money there. You have to be able to also still spend money when you're making money. You have to be able to, manage that money. And when you have no experience of that, because you're only used to ever making, I only made ever 40,000 in 1 year, right? I made, in exchange for my time, giving up the life that I had, 8 hours a day. And that wasn't even just 8 hours a day. As a public school teacher, I was working 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. sometimes. I was a single woman. I just stayed at school and make curriculum for the next day because we didn't even actually have any curriculum that was given to us, which is a good way when you consider some of the things they put in curriculum. But I was spending hours upon hours working for my job to make a very small amount of money. And it isn't a small amount of money, because if I was to say I'm going to give you $40,000 right now, you'd be like, oh, that's a huge chunk of money. But when you divide it up over a year, they're like, oh, that's actually a small amount of money. And that's what perspective is, by the way. So like when you shift your perspective, things are different. Like, someone's like, I can't do that. That's so expensive. And to someone else, it's like, expensive? Like, no, that's like pennies, like whatever. And he'd be like, what, bitch? Like, what did she just say? I did it the other day and I got immediately checked by the universe. So I made a post talking about how, we need to change our conversations about money. And it was mostly a post talking about taking your desires off a pedestal. Like, if so many of us block our manifestations in life, like, so you want something, but you think it's so far away from you because you can't even see how it's possible. So like you've pushed it so far away from you, and it's like you're on a treadmill you're on a hamster wheel going nowhere. When you put your desires so big and so above you, then you can't, actually ever get to them. Like you've done that. In order to manifest what you want to manifest, what you're manifesting has to feel normal. It has to feel what you are, because you attract what you are. So whatever when we say whatever energy you're putting out, literally it's as simple as who are you being? Who are you being? How are you talking? What are you doing each day? What are you looking at? How are you spending your time? Like these are all the things that will dictate what we manifest. It's not just, I manifest and I'm going to try and be happy all day and then I'll get what I want. No, it's like, am I walking like a person who makes $100,000 a month? Am I looking like a person who makes $100,000 a month? And I'm not saying there's a set standard of what to look like. Hello, I myself look very different. I started my business with pink and yellow mohawked hair. When you think of a corporate trainer and she's supposed to have like cute little, pump high heels and a I can't even say the words because I don't wear those things. A business jacket. Like if you were to go to Google and Google professional woman, like exactly that is what I should look like, because I'm a teacher and I started my business with pink and yellow mohawked hair. Anyway, I kind of went off on a tangent there, didn't I? You have to be the person who makes $100,000 a month, and including the way you look, like whatever that means to you. That's what I was going with that. Whatever that means to you. So there's no set one way that you have to look to make $100,000, but think about the you who makes $100,000. I really want you to play in your imagination right now. And I want to go, let's say in this moment that you have been granted $100,000. You know that you're going to get that for, an entire year. Like, or actually make it much bigger than that. Make it much smaller than that. Let's say $100,000 in 1 month. $100,000 in 1 month. And you get that every month. And you know that $100,000 is coming every single month. What would your life look like? What would you be doing? What would you be doing spending your time? Where would you be going? What would you be feeling? Who is the you? What version of you? Who is the you that is making $100,000 a month every month? And are you living that right now? Now, again, you're going to say, well, no, I don't have $100,000 a month. Okay. But the you that would exist, what would she? Well, she would appreciate the F out of her home. I know that. Okay. I want you to appreciate your home. My home that I currently live in has a lot of problems, but I don't think about them. I don't talk about them. I talk about how beautiful my home is, and I feel so beautiful. I'm constantly like, wow, it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I am constantly emitting out, it is so beautiful, when I could be emitting out, like we just remodeled this and there's repairs and there's things we have to do, and it's an old house and it's cold and we forgot to do this. Like I could be like living in that energy, or I can just handle like, oh, we need to do something else, whatever, we'll just do it. And I focus on how beautiful my house is. It's absolutely beautiful, and we pay pennies to be here compared to every other amount of money I've ever paid for rent to live anywhere in the city. I just posted, it was like, I don't know, it was 2016. And I found a 2-bedroom apartment, 2 bathrooms with a washer and dryer. And they took the trash outside for you for $750 a month. And that was like amazing deal where I was at in Phoenix. And the apartments right around there were definitely going at least for $1,000. I needed to have as cheap of a possible place that I could buy that would also give me space, and 2 bathrooms, space and privacy, because I had adopted my daughter and we needed a place to live. And I could get a pretty nice 1-bedroom with my teacher salary, but I couldn't get a 2-bedroom. So to find a 2-bedroom that was in a price range that I could afford, that was actually really pretty, was like amazing. So I want to remind you that at one point paying $750 for an apartment was like okay, but also scary to have to put down a deposit. They want you to pay so many months up front. Like you have to have more money than what the rent is, because they want to prove that you can definitely pay the rent. And you're like, I can pay the rent, but you're asking me to pay the rent 2 times in one time, right? Like that puts a little pressure on you. And then, you know, you get your apartment. But when we say, I know I was talking about how $7,000, I made a post talking about manifesting what you want, how you need to take your desires off the pedestal because perspective changes. The $750 that I had to pay for rent feels like nothing to me right now, honestly. Like if that was like, I need you to pay $750 extra a month to live in your house, I'd be like, okay, sure, no problem, that's fine, easy peasy. I make that in, I don't know, half a day. Right? Like I live almost in days like that in terms of money, because it condenses it for me. It makes it not feel so big, right? Trying to say that I make $100,000 a month every month feels really, really big. And that's what I'm asking you to do right now is imagine the you who would make $100,000 a month, and the you who does it probably isn't afraid of money. They're probably, you know, feeling much better about money. So are you afraid of money right now? Or can you start feeling better about money? Right? I'm not saying that in order to that you know, because I'm saying you do need to be the version of you that makes $100,000 a month in the best way that you currently can. Okay. And no, you won't automatically have, like, maybe, I know, who knows? I don't want to limit you, but like, it's not going to be like, I'm not in my most perfect house yet. There's so much that could be done in this perfect house, but I appreciate so much the house that I have. And I know that $1,000,000 me, when I'm able to like really, really build out the house that I want, I know that that version of me is going to absolutely love every room of her house, because that's how I plan to design it, right? That I love every room in that house, that I love the way it looks, that I love the way the sun comes in. You know, I love that my kitchen is clean and big and open. And these are all the things I get to do right now. So the me that is making $100,000 a month is super happy where she's at. Most of us spend time being the current reality that we are, which is I only make $40,000 a year and I have to work really, really hard for that money, and it exhausts me, and it sucks. We need to change, you know, how we talk about money, but our perspectives on money will change with that. And that's what we have to understand, is that you who makes $100,000 is not the version that you are right now. It's not, because the version you are right now doesn't make $100,000. And the version of you that does scares you. Think about how much it scares you, because what do you believe about having to make $100,000 that much? You'd have to cheat somebody. You'd have to scam somebody. You'd have to win the lottery. You have no concept that someone can just make $100,000 without working hard at a job. And the few that you do, you think it's a scam, it's a lie, it's not real. You know, I get that. I've been there. I'm like, there's no way, you know, or they're like, they have to be part of multi-level marketing and they're like squishing a bunch of other people to make that much money. I love multi-level marketing. I was thinking about that the other day. Herbalife changed my life. I told you earlier that I was a woman who would just drink at the bar every single weekend, pass out. Like, I just saw an article today about how a teacher was caught drunk at school. I'm like, girl, you you didn't eat enough cheesecake at Denny's before you walked in, because I would have shown you how to handle a classroom while you're still hungover. That's who's in your school systems, by the way. I was a teacher in the school system, and we trust these people to take over our children for the next 8 hours, and we know nothing about them. Like, we don't know that they're slamming it out at the bar, you know, every Friday, Saturday, sometimes Thursday nights, and taking home random dudes, and she's around your children for 8 hours a day. This is a good idea. But that version of me doesn't exist. I am totally not that person anymore, because I'm not doing any of those actions anymore. I'm being me who has a company that she loves, who enjoys her time, who wants to be with her one partner, who wants to spend time with her baby. I'm a completely different version of me. And you can even go back to a video. There's a version of me on a video on my timeline of me crying my eyes out, thinking that I could never, ever be a good person. And I was so sad. I had so many super sad feelings back then, and that's what I was saying, like Herbalife changed my life. That was during a time that I was with Herbalife. And it was like the first time that it made me question my reality and if I really wanted to live that way. You are going to go to a job for 8 hours a day, if not more. You're going to hate it, but it's like you believe that you need to do it in order to make money. You got to make money to do everything else that you do, but you don't get to do very much of what you want to do. You mostly have to do the work part. You mostly have to do the make money part. And those were the beliefs that I had. And Herbalife, multi-level marketing, was the first time that I really was questioned. Are you sure that this is how you would like to make money? Do you know that there is another way of making money? And it's talking to your friends and family about a problem that you can solve and making money from that. Like multi-level marketing is actually quite beautiful when you think about it. I just want to point that out. So not bashing multi-level marketing. I'm not in them because I don't love selling, although I found out that selling is much different than what we think, but I'm not passionate about health products. Okay. I don't want to study and have the knowledge about why eat this versus why eat that and how this is helpful and what kind of diet you should be on. That has of zero interest to me. Okay. That is something someone else can talk. Like my sister is great at that. You can talk to her about macro and micros and like, what these supplements do to you. It's just not my jam. Okay. But Herbalife was the first time that multi-level marketing opportunity was really, really the first time I questioned, how am I making money? And is it what I want to be doing to make money? And maybe is there an easier or different way to make money? And it was starting with them that really led me on this journey. And in all honesty, I'm no longer with them. I do order products from them, but uh, they're a huge reason why I'm even here today. The version of me that walked out of the bars from drinking all night and teaching hungover and all these different men, every Tom, Dick, and Harry, as my husband likes to say. That was when I was living my life in most of my a good chunk of my 20s. I don't do those things anymore. And that was the version of me that partly believed I would have to. That was when I was becoming an adult, when you realize you have freaking bills to pay. And like I don't know, maybe not even 20, trying to buy a house. Like I was buying a house, like I was signing a mortgage, and I didn't know nothing about money. And then you realize they're like, you gotta pay this or it's a really bad thing. And it's like, shoot, I gotta pay a mortgage on a house. Like I have this commitment that I have to do. And I was actually married at the time and he had just lost his job. And so now I was the only one making money and going to school. Like I was still in college when I tried to buy my house. So I was going to college, working a full-time job, get married, and then buy a house. And then it's not just like rent, like you got to pay it or else. And if it falls apart, you have to take care of it. Like there's so many responsibilities. And I at one moment in my life, I actually found myself having to give back my house. Like it was short sold or something like that. All that trauma that happened to us in the economy. I have zero interest in really talking about the economy. Like someone else might totally freaking love that and might have a lot of things to say about what I'm saying. Like you're gonna tell me that multi-level marketings only work for the 1%, so they're really bad. Well, have you thought about that 1% feels pretty good and like other people really love the supplements, so can we just leave them alone? And when you think about that with the 1% too, like that's another thing that we really need to dive into, and maybe that's going to be next episode, is how much we hate people with money and how we all are willingly bullying people with money. Although I get it, like they get to decide what we watch and what we see. Like there's that's really deep into that. But in order to make more money, you need to, one, let me just kind of summarize, catch any points I missed. In order to make more money, to believe that you can make more money, this is work. You have to work at that. You have to think about, and it's good work, right? Like go back and replay when we talked about work and what it is you're truly doing. Where are you selling your time and for how much? And is that really worth the time you're not with the people you love and enjoy. And some people say, I love work. Work is great. I'm glad to get away. Yeah, get away. What are you getting away from? That's so bad. And maybe, is it about money? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about how the system makes money off of your symptoms, right? Your desire to fix your symptoms, but nobody goes to the root of the issue, right? If you really like, I couldn't believe there was a post the other day in a group that said, I stopped working since we had the baby and I'm running out of money. I haven't talked to my husband about money. And people are like, what? And I'm like, what kind of marriage do you have if you can't openly, freely, without fear of harm or worry, talk about money? And that's how much we're so afraid to talk about money. And I want to talk about money, and that is the purpose of this channel. We need to change our conversation around money. We need to change how we view money. And because we all need it and we all want it, and yet you think it's so bad. You think rich people are so bad. You attack that. Do you see? You attack rich people, but yet you want to be them. And there is this mix between you of how we feel about money, and you've got to get in alignment in order to actually make the money. And if you want to make a lot of money, you can't hate anyone else who make a lot of money. Okay? You can try to dictate how people should spend their money, but that's just a way of making you feel better that they have so much money. You want to come up with solutions of how Jeff Bezos and whatever his Elon Musk should spend their money, because it makes you feel better that you don't have any, and that if you did, you would do something good. Like, we all get to do whatever we want. And I know a lot of people who do plan to do something good, but I don't care if you say, I never plan to spend anything. I never want to spend my money other than being on an absolute luxurious life, eating grapes fed to me by a person. Like, okay, cool. Like, if that's what you want to experience in your life, that's on you. Like, cool. It's not for me. I'm glad that you're happy, right? Because why does someone else need to feel different or do what we expect them to? Like, you want someone to do something just so you feel better about it. You would feel better about Jeff Bezos having more money if you got to determine what he did with it. Like, how about you just whatever and worry about yourself? Worry about yourself. And honestly, don't even worry. That's a big, huge part of the problem. Take care of yourself. That was actually something I said as a teacher, was worry about yourself. Don't touch the person sitting next to you. Keep your hands to yourself. You color that page. You color that page. These are your crayons. Worry about yourself. It's okay that you got pink and you got blue. Worry about yourself. That was probably one of the biggest lines I had to say in school to keep the children's apart. And I taught middle school, not kindergarten. Oh, the days. We've got to change how we communicate about money. And we have to think about the version of us that would have that money. How are they living? And we need to do our very best to live that way within what we currently have in this reality. I loved my home. Every version of it. When it was a 2-bedroom condo, when it was a 1-bedroom bathroom that didn't even, my hips didn't even, I couldn't even turn in the shower, okay? And I was beginning to get pregnant, and I was like, I might have to be pregnant in this shower. And I can't even turn around as is. Like, what am I going to do? This house is so cute. I painted the walls green. I even had David go buy a new countertop. From Menards. I was like, that countertop it's not working for me. Like, let's just replace the whole I bought a new countertop in a rental because it needed to look prettier for me to exist in it and to find it beautiful. So that's what I did. And I saw that place is beautiful. It was wonderful. I was like, David, it's so cute. It's just you and me in this tiny little place. Like, look at this. Like, I romanticized my life because I imagine that, $100,000 a month me would just love everything that she sees and everything that's going on. And like, because her world would be perfect if she had $100,000 a month, because we believe money makes things perfect. Woo! That's another reason why you're resisting money, is because you think all your problems will be solved. And they will not. They will be different problems. They will evolve. We will always have a problem. Like, there will always be something that we have to deal with, learn, grow, something that'll be uncomfortable, something that we don't want to have to do. How uncomfortable, again, let me remind you, it is to talk about money. Have I made you uncomfortable at all during this conversation? When I talked about how you should just let Jeff Bezos spend his money however you want to spend it. Because you know you're spending your money all the time on him on Amazon. Like it's crazy. You complain about him and you feed him. You complain about him and you feed him. You complain about him and you feed him. Kind of sounds like some of those toxic relationships I was in. Exactly how it was, to be honest. Complain about him, feed him. That's what I was talking about. How when I was newly married, making 40, like I hadn't even graduated college yet, and now I had a mortgage that I had to pay. And then quickly he lost his job. And so I was the only one making any money in my house. And I think that's I don't know if like that's just who I'm meant to be, but in every relationship I've had, I've been the main breadwinner, paying the bills, taking care of the things. Like it's just always been true for me. And it's true for me now. And we openly, and it's not my money, it's not his money, it is our money. Both of us have very equal decisions about what we do with it, what happens. And we just signed the paperwork for a boat that is more expensive than the first house that I bought at 20 some years of age, buying a house. It's so crazy because we did buy it for like literally half of what the guy before us paid, but the guy after us paid a third of that. Like it was insane. What happened to us? I don't talk, but the economy, like I don't understand why all that happened. Like I kind of get it. The banks did this and they did that. Like we don't all have to understand everything. And like honestly, I feel like that's newsy, and I don't want to live by the news. I want to live by my beliefs. And this is something that might make you uncomfortable. Is I can't change what politicians are doing. I can't. Like, I mean, I can write a letter and I could be sending emails, but they're going to do what they want to do. And you know what changes politicians is money. So until I have enough money to really get in the game, I don't have time to watch it going on. I don't want to be a spectator sport to someone else's funky system. Like I gotta live in it, right? I gotta pay taxes. I gotta give to Caesar what we're living in Caesar's system. Give to Caesar what Caesar wants, and then let me just do what I can in my own time and savor every moment I have, because I only have this moment. 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 And any moment that could be done though. So do I want to spend my time doing that, or do I want to spend my time, with my baby, with my family, having a good time? And I still like work because I spend my time standing in front of a computer writing about insurance. Like, I love it. I love it. I'm not saying that every moment needs to be with your daughter or be with your family or be in the woods. Like, there's going to be moments that you really love sitting at a computer for hours, like just crafting and creating. Okay? So don't get the wrong idea that you cannot, enjoy your job. You may enjoy your job, but what's the money exchange for it, right? Every energy that you get out, there needs to be some reciprocating energy coming back, right? So if you're giving out feelings, you're working in your cubicle and you dislike your job and you hate what you're doing, and you're emitting these feelings over and over, you just keep seeing them, because they're coming out, coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out, coming in. You're building your reality every time you complain. Like, do you understand? You're building what you see when you complain. Like, my job sucks. You go in, my job sucks. My job sucks. Look what I have to do. My job sucks. Oh, now I have to do this. My job sucks. Like, you're building what you see with your words. And when you change your words, you can change what you see. I love my job. It's wonderful. I love that I'm able to and find something that you actually love about the thing that you love about the job. I love that I'm getting a paycheck. I love that I like in my last job, I was actually talking about something I was passionate about. I love that I get to work with cool people, and I would just focus on that. Okay? Because when I think about the me who has a better, amazing job or is making more money, she would appreciate what is going on in her world, right? We have to appreciate what is currently happening in our reality to build the reality of the person who appreciates it, who actually like gets to appreciate it in reality, right? In touchy-feeliness. You need to appreciate what you want to build in reality before it's built in reality in order to build it in reality. Okay, does that make sense? My mentor Christine said, don't ask if it makes sense. I'm still learning about really mastering my life. And I get to follow amazing, amazing mentors. And I still coach myself. I still get coached. I still have room. I have so much I want to continue to learn from like the masters of like this space where multiple women are making multiple millions in a year, in a month, over in this time, and they're able to create and craft their lives that's like so beautiful and so wonderful. I'm learning from these women. I got to see them. I saw them do it. It played out in front of me. These women would post about, how they're like, what they were, now they were running businesses, and now they're doing this, and now they're making all this money, and now they get to celebrate, and now they're traveling all over the world, and now they're living a life they absolutely love. Like, I was constantly surrounded within this Facebook group of all of these women showing me that they could have a life that they loved, and that they really wanted to be in, and that other people admired. And I'm like, I can have that too. And I really started going for it. And in Herbalife, the multi-level marketing was that first time that had asked me, do you want to make money in a different way? Is it possible that there's another way to exchange your time and energy for different amounts of money, and you feel better even helping people? Right? Like, Herbalife supplements help people. You feel better when you're eating better and you're talking to someone who actually understands that stuff, who wants to talk about that stuff. I just didn't want to talk about that stuff. It didn't light me up. I want to talk about coverage A is liability and coverage B is medical payments, and what that means. That lights me up. I light up when I talk about insurance. Like, I am a teacher by the core of who I am. I am teacher through and through. I am the world's teacher. I want to teach us how we actually get to create and manifest our life. I'm a teacher through and through, but I am passionate about insurance. It is one of my loves. And I get to make money doing what I love, how I love to do it, my own way, my colors, my font. I get to do it with my words, with my skills, truly the way that I am skilled. I get to do that. When I was exchanging my time, my very precious time, for money from another person who didn't honor or care about all of my skills, they determined what skills I could use. And if I had to learn skills just for them that I didn't want or even care to have, like, okay, I have to have another skill to do the thing. Okay, fine, whatever. You can do all that. I now sell. I now pay other people to do anything I don't want to do. Just, yeah, here, I'll give you money. Like, we're it's amazing how when you have large sums of money, you get to pay people to do things you don't want to do, and they might really, really love it and enjoy it. Right? We also have that idea, is because we hate how we make money, so then we assume anyone we're acting with probably hates how they make money. And I actually love the way that I make money. I really, really love the way that I make money. I get to do what I want to do, and I get to have a lot of fun doing it. And it makes more precious moments in my life possible. Like, when I am doing this, when I am on camera, when I am sharing, when I am teaching, I am making it possible for both David and I to be at home, minus me doing this every once in a while. It is possible that I can pay other people to clean my home so that when I'm done doing this, it's all I do, and I don't have to spend a whole lot of time cleaning and organizing my house. Like, I am happy to exchange some of my time for money, but it needs to be an adequate amount of money that allows all of that to happen. Because it's important that I'm with my family. It's important that I get to spend, precious and amazing moments with my baby throughout the day without having to give her to someone else and hate what I'm doing in order to make it happen. Like, we hate what we're doing, and we hate what we're doing because we hate what we're doing. Do you see how you build your reality with your words? I hate that I'm having to send my kid to daycare. I hate that I have to go to this job, and you're doing hate. Like, you're doing things you don't even like. You're doing things you don't even enjoy, and you're just on this hamster wheel, right? Like get off the hamster wheel. I got off the hamster wheel fully and completely when I quit my job 2 years ago. And this is the anniversary of me launching the Insurance Exam Queen business. Funny enough, I didn't even announce it on Facebook the day I did it because I think I was scared shitless. And I wanted to see if I could just get a couple more followers before I decided to say I'm the insurance exam queen on my Facebook. But I did a few days later because, you know, it really, really blew up because I was, for the first time, sharing with the world my gifts the way I wanted to share them. And in return, I have made more sums of money than was even fathomable to me before. And I just want to share that with everyone else, that you get to do your gifts, your talents in a way you enjoy, and you get to have a big exchange of money for that. And you get to have more of your time the way you want to spend your time. I want to spend my time with my family. I want to spend time out in the woods. I want to spend time visiting other family in other places. I want to spend my time doing all kinds of, look at my amazing board. I'm so rich. I bought a whiteboard. If you're listening, that doesn't make sense. But if you imagine for a moment me standing in front of a whiteboard that is electric and I get to touch it and move it and draw on it and I don't have to erase it. Like I am a teacher at heart. Like I made some pretty horrendous jokes about me being a teacher earlier, but I was very, very good at what I do. I just had to be drunk to do it their way with that amount of money. I had to medicate myself against the harm I was doing to myself. But now I'm out of that system. I love what I get to do. I'm an incredible teacher teaching at what I do. And I just felt that even though I'm only 2 years of making six figures, that I can teach you how to make six figures. And then I can teach you to do it multiple times. And then I can teach you to do it to 1 million. I'm not even at 1 million yet, but I know what to do. And what to do is be yourself and trust yourself and love your life and love your life and love your life. Love your life right now for every precious moment that it is. And then you will begin to understand why you should deserve more money for the time you spend doing something you don't enjoy doing. And that it is possible that at some point you are able to pay someone else to do it who much more rather enjoys it. And you get to pay them large sums of money to do it. I pay people more than I've ever been paid at a job before. They get to do what they love to do, making money. Like, could you imagine if all of us just for a minute started exchanging our skills and our services and running each other's businesses? Like, how perfect would it be if I could find, you know, another person? Like, I mean, I do. It's already works. Like, I'm like, oh man, I hate running taxes. I found a person who loves taxes. Like they love to, like, oh my God, I love running those numbers. I love those worksheets. I love finding receipts. I love doing this. Like there's somebody who loves everything that you hate doing. And you could, if you have enough money to help those people and then they get enough money, like, do you understand? Like it's much easier than we make it out to be. Like we all have a skill or a talent or a service and we could be exchanging that for money, instead of hating what we do in exchange for money. So with that, my baby needs me. I love you. You all have an amazing evening.